Today we're going to be talking about how to analyze your chromatogram from your chromatography lab of the marker that you tested. So the first thing you need to do is to draw what you did in class, this line at the end, which you compare it with the line from the beginning, and this is how far the solvent traveled. The other thing you're going to need to do is look at all the different colors that you see and put a line to the farthest place where that color traveled. So I have a red that went this far. I have a yellow that went about here. So I have three different colors that I'm going to analyze: a yellow, an orange, and a red. So what you need to do is you need to measure on a ruler, metric side of course, how far each of these traveled on the chromatography paper. So we're going to line this up with the 0. And remember that you're always going to make one guess whenever you make a measurement. So if I'm looking at the yellow right here, I can see that the yellow traveled pretty much right on the 3. So I'm going to guess that it's 3 centimeters. So I'm going to write yellow here. Okay, and I'm going to write 3.0 because I think it's right on this mark. And even in between these two marks, I think it's exactly on the line. So I'm going to write 3.00 centimeters, and that's for the yellow. Okay, I'm going to write another one for the orange, which is right here. So I'm going to look over here, and it looks like it's 3.4, and actually it really does look like it's right on the line to me. So I'm going to write orange equals 3.40 centimeters. And then lastly, I'm going to look at the red, and the red goes all the way up to here. So that looks like it's 3.8, and I'll say it's just a little bit above it, so 3.81. So I'm going to write red equals 3.81 centimeters. Now the solvent also went all the way up to the top right here, which is at 3.81. So the solvent traveled 3.81 centimeters. So now what you're going to try to figure out is called the RF value. An RF value, I'll write it over here, is equal to the distance of the color, which is a pigment, compared to the distance of the solvent. So it's a ratio. It's a ratio, the ratio of the pigment to the solvent. So since the solvent was 3.81, I'm going to write that for each of these. So 3.81 centimeters, 3.81 centimeters, and 3.81 centimeters. So clearly this one is going to be a 1.00. No unit, because the units are going to cancel each other out. We'll talk about that again another day in more detail. And it's just a ratio. So 3.4 divided by 3.81 is going to be 0.892. Remember, with significant figures, it's count them up. So 3 sig figs and 3 sig figs. And then 3 divided by 3.81 is going to give you 0.787 as the RF value for that. So what you need to do is you need to calculate all the RF values for each of the different pigments that you see in your chromatogram. Not every chromatogram is going to have several colors. Some might only have one color. So if it only has one color, you only have to do the one color. Sometimes the color at the top is not going to go as far as the solvent. So then you will never have an RF value of 1 for that sample because the color didn't travel quite as far. So this is what you're going to do for your lab, and you're going to just follow the directions in the write-up for how to type it on your computer.